wish I do. So now you do.
Back in France, Roger thought we had to visit ouvrage Fermont for numerous reasons, and looking it up I found almost nothing about this amazing fortress. It is huge, it still has a functioning railroad underground, and one of the best battle stories of the day happened here. And it will be told to you by a man with a heavy French accent in a resounding space. So there. Ouvrage Fermont is a gros ouvrage of the Maginot Line in northeastern France. It saw significant combat during the last stages of the Battle of France. It was later repaired and reactivated during the 1950s and 60s as a strong point in the event of an invasion by Soviet forces. Fermont comprised of 2 entrance blocks, 3 infantry blocks, 3 artillery blocks, and 1 observation block. The combat blocks are connected to the entries and support areas by a gallery of systems extending over 1,000 meters. The munitions and personnel entries are located far to the rear of the completely arranged combat blocks. From there, long straight gallery runs at an average depth of 30 meters to the combat blocks. It was served by a narrow-gauge railroad, which entered at the munition entrance and runs all the way through all the galleries to the combat blocks. On the surface, the railroad used to connect to supply points to the rear and to 2 other ouvrages. The 1940 manning of the ouvrage was under the command of Captain Aubert, comprised at 553 men and 19 officers of the 149th Fortress Infantry Regiment and the 152nd Precision Artillery Regiment. On May 11th, Fermont's 75mm turret opened fire on Germans. The 17th Infantry Division and Fermont provided covering fire for French forces retreating from Longny, which was between the Maginot Line and the German border, and was therefore regarded as indefensible against a determined attack. In late May and early June, the Germans' attack was focused further to the west, eventually breaking out behind the line. So from June 15th to 20th, 1940, Fermont helped to repel attacks on the neighboring ouvrages, Fermont and Chappy, as well as firing to the north. There's 2 entrances to this fort. One of them is just this one for soldiers, of course guarded by everything, and then the one next to us, which is where the armaments and the heavy deliveries, the munitions would get in. And this is a smaller fort than something you would see at Hackenberg, which was so big it was almost too big to actually fulfill its mission. And this is what you would call a prototype Maginot Line fort, and actually survived after the war because everybody kept it intact. And as you can see, it's well guarded by mosquitoes. But the Germans didn't wreck it, and there was no fighting here for it in 1944, so it survived. And here it is today. And it has been turned into an amazing museum by a very special character that you're about to meet, who has spent some 47 years of his life collecting arms, tanks, domes, steel domes, weaponry.
I came to the association in 1975 when George Mestre, the first president, created it, and directly Mr. Mestre asked me to create a museum at Fermont. And since 1977, I am looking for materials, weapons, equipment on the Maginot Line and on other points. I've been in the association since its creation, and I continue to work. Wrote many books on the French campaign, and then particularly on the Maginot Line. Now I'm retired, so I have some time to rest,
So more forts, more bunkers, and more books. Now this looks original and nice. And you have this is the sliding door, right? The sliding gate. This would slide off to the side, right?
This is
Over the ditch.
Yeah, over the ditch.
It moves to the left, yeah. Going in the ditch. As in the very big boats, substantial.
Was just finished at the end of the French campaign, and only some divisions received this
They do with the little 37.
The other ones are very known. Okay?
Yeah. And that's one of those they used to fire at the cloche, the pack.
The pack.
The 37, yeah. They bought one 40 years ago and the army gave them another one.
Yeah, because those two are a little...
This part of the fortification was paid especially by André Maginot because there was no more money to build these forts, but André Maginot was Lorrain, okay?
From Lorraine.
And he was very interested to protect the French industry, okay? But you can see here the density of the fortification, and here it is very
Space time. His sole duty is to impose a delay. Vauban said, I can build the strongest boats in the world, I can always capture them. They will always fall. Their only reason is to impose a delay.
So this
is the lift for the wagons, from the missions.
Yes.
Okay?
Do you want some light?
Maybe. It depends what kind of light, we'll see. I like that kind of light.
And the next one is the personnel lift.
No, no personnel.
Oh, this one.
This one is for small trucks.
Oh,
okay?
right.
This one
For big
for
ones.
tractor.
Big.
Okay?
Right.
Of course, there's a turntable.
Yes, which is good.
This one is very slowly.
Funny, the way with the ribbeted together, I love it.
This lift will put 50%.
Yeah, the tourists, yeah, I know. We squeeze them in. Squeeze them in. The smaller trucks. I have the rails going inside load. It's 30 meters.
The personnel was always upstairs, downstairs. Okay?
On the stairs. Keep
So
it fit. Keep it
even in the entrance, the personnel entrance,
Yes.
it is the same, but the stairs are
Wider.
wider.
Wider, yeah.
In 1914, okay, the main mortar on the German artillery was the 42 centimeters.
42 centimeters, yeah.
And this gun, this mortar, makes a hole in the ground
Yes.
of about 16 meters, okay? Depth, okay? And it's impossible with this caliber to put exactly two shells at the same place.
Same place.
So, if the shell falls
Yeah.
into the jumelle, la pente,
Well, then, yeah.
Yes.
okay, it will be also a second hole of 20, 80 or 60 meters, okay, but the total depth is only 27 meters.
I say
okay?
can't reach.
So
Yeah.
here
the
we
top.
are 3 meters for security.
3 meters of
So we are
security.
30 meters.
Yes, that is
But
only
it's
just, but
It's
sufficient.
impossible because the dispersion between the two shells is about 40 meters.
Structure goes down quite a way down there as well, the lift structure. Drainage is something you must work on all the time. L'évacuation de l'eau. It's essential, isn't it?
Yes, there is a point, but to have water in 1940, the port was also what is today. Okay? It was admitted that we have some humidity.
Yes.
So this was completely flooded when you got to the fort in 76. All this was underwater.
The water was on the ground, especially at the foot of the block, in the first
In the ditch under
ditch,
the hole.
the ditch
the well,
of the lift. Okay,
Oh.
totally.
Ah, being on the door here. Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's in order to continue
On the way.
the correct.
Oh, but
Because
So
Okay.
they freewheel
In
the
order
trains.
to-
through
yeah,
the-
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes,
They freewheel,
To
with
can-
not under
you
power.
can close the door if necessary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now there's
So
no need, so you continue
it's a
this.
modification.
Can you imagine that? They cut the power and they accelerate
yeah.
and freewheel. Ah. Let's see, there's a little secret. Ventilation.
That's a ventilation, isn't it?
Ventilation.
The pipes.
You're just sneaking by a rusty door that you're just sneaking. No, it's not even connected.
Some of the blocks are still closed off, aren't they? One or two of the blocks are still closed. Are they used for army storage or what?
So the problem we are 40 persons in the association.
Yes.
It's impossible to have a fort in good condition everywhere.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
election.
Yes.
And we have only one block in condition. The answer to your question.
Is that for electricity, for cables?
It's to put
So there would be pieces of wood in here with cables on.
little cables to support the.
It's just I've never seen them missing. So I was like, why is there a hole there?
It's not necessary here, so we are.
It looked for a minute a little medieval there. Actually, the stone is pretty rough too.
Here it's not necessary because it was important that the train.
An armored blind.
Is it an original one from Fermont?
No, this one no. At Fermont we find two.
Two. Yes.
And one tractor of Fermont was at 𝐬𝐵𝐿
Of Villiers-Sec.
and 𝐬𝐵𝐿 sold it at Attenberg,
Oh!
but for a price.
The details, it's fantastic. The details are incredible.
There is two walls in chicane, okay? If there is an explosion in the magazine, all the bricks are projected in this part of the gallery, okay?
Yes.
And there is no compression. So between each cellule, each gallery of the magazine, there is the same wide as the gallery.
And this is to contain the shock.
Yeah.
The shock wave goes into the
Yeah, the explosion would be expended on the bricks.
and into this space
Yeah.
without going sideways. Yes.
Is brick.
Yeah, so the magazine is in to our right. This is the brick wall that would take the
A
blast.
chicane already.
So that's the catcher of these bricks. And here's where the explosion would be funneled through from the powder magazine. well, not powder magazine, but what else am I going to call it? And here, from the other wall.
The 𝐵𝐸 company in Mulhouse produced all this overhead equipment.
And they're probably still in business.
Probably.
I mean, why would the French pre-war military suppliers not be in businesses like the Germans?
In the case, we have no water in the fort.
Yes.
We have possibility to go from one block to another one with water.
It's an emergency water.
There was a ground well here. You had a well, right? Yeah.
Because the water comes from two directions. The first one is
Well, a puits.
yes, in the ground, at about 40 meters.
So you guys may have wondered why there's two of these on all of these little trains. That's because you always have to put the one up that goes with the travel direction. So whenever the train changes direction, you put up one that runs, well, with the wind, so to speak. That's something you didn't know about electric trains of the Maginot Line. Merci. When you go into the smaller gallery, where you have to drag the cable because you can't actually run the chance of sparks on electricity on electricity.
Cable on the drum.
Yeah.
Right.
When you went to the powder magazine, that's very clever.
For the artillery ammunition, louder,
Yeah.
okay? The train go into the gallery, okay? And you go back.
So here the train came from the main entrance, and this whole little turn is simply for the train to go into in order to change tracks. And then it would pull in here. So now we will go in here to the artillery block.
12-15 de forteresse. Donc j'ai du génie, artillerie, j'ai la plume de 31, j'ai la plume de des...
Mais les belles de...
Les génériques que j'ai, évidemment, ils sont déportés.
This is the ready-use magazine. Yeah.
Yes,
Specific to the block.
And this is, what, 75 millimeter ammunition?
75 ammunition, shells.
Yeah.
Were all these boxes here when you took over the fort? These are the original ones.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Because the idea, you know, was that the Maginot Line is defensive. You don't have guns which can reach far into... You don't want cannons that can fire deep into Germany. C'était défendu. It's a mauvaise...
Belgium also.
Yeah.
So how many shells did they fire in 1940?
About 12,000.
Second M2 magazine.
Water tanks?
Citern.
Citern, yeah, water tanks, yes.
Water.
For cooling, refroidir les canons.
This is nice. This is different than the all cemented walls we usually see. This is all stone. Ooh.
These are the lift motors.
Really?
Those greased cables.
I know.
Ah, beautiful.
Oh, we're going back in the...
Please take place in the lift.
Did you say there's no roof?
There was no roof originally. They put a roof in.
Oh, now I see some cement here. Really nice staircase compared to what I've seen before. It's not collapsing, which is, well, very surprising for me.
It's a block.
At every time,
Semi-auto block.
here you have to
You have to open and close.
open and close.
Okay,
But
right.
we can do that 12
shots a minute, yes.
by minute.
Yeah.
So if here you have 3 guns, 2 shots by minute,
Yeah.
36 shots for all the casemate
Yeah.
during 3 minutes.
Right.
So 108 shots in 3 minutes.
In 3 minutes.
During of the fire.
108 shells in 3 minutes they can throw out of these guns.
Are you making people do math again?
Right. What is the maximum range from the
12 kilometers.
12 kilometers.
In the conception of the Maginot Line,
Yes.
it needs to have a fort each 6 kilometers in order that every fort is covered by 4. In 1940, 12, the French commandment decided to evacuate the Maginot Line, okay, because the German troops are already in Dijon. So it's too late. And in the night of the 13th of June, the interval troops go out and take the way to retreat. But all the crew of the forts remains in place. But the problem is that the tête de pont de Montmédy, you know, c'est 145 sector, tête de pont de Montmédy, is in advance. There is a...
It's in a depression.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the soldiers of this position evacuate one day former. Okay, so the German troops can see that there is nobody in the fortification, and they turn around the forts, and they come behind all the position. And on the 15th of June, the forts were circled, and so it was impossible to evacuate. So the only solution is to fight.
Right, yeah.
On the 17th of June, 2 German 8.8 flak, okay, put in position at about 6,000 meters from the forts, and they fire all morning long. All this, only seeing they see this block, okay? And they shot always at the same place. And about at noon, suddenly there is a hole like that on the wall. And it was very dangerous because these boxes were full with shells. It's called the 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐜𝐫𝐬, okay? And behind every gun, we have a box like this with full of shells. And, okay, so another shell into the blocks and explode. But I don't know the reason, perhaps because it's noon and it's time to eat.
Yeah.
The Germans started the fire. And there is no consequence. So in the afternoon, the engineers come with one sack,
Yes.
okay, to reduce the bridge. In the evening, they put two iron planks, okay, and after they put concrete with fast
Fixing concrete.
okay, and the bridge was no consequence, okay. See, it's to make easier the
The lifting and the recoil cylinders on top.
vehicles.
Yeah. And the field conversion is underneath
Put the key and you turn,
the wheel.
okay?
And you open the
And
bullet.
you shut.
Oh, you shut the bullet. Yeah. Okay.
And if you want to shut, you have to open, and you can have the key to open.
And then it fires.
It's a security to avoid you shut with
The bullet with the
Bullet
shutters
away.
closed. Oh, that is beautiful. Goodness. It's so complicated, isn't it? This is so complex.
Will seem more complicated when the Germans are shooting at you. So, how did the battle go? What happened? The Germans eventually took the war. Did they?
Well, the Germans attacked and they lost, what, 80 men?
about 20 more, 20 killed in action,
20 men killed in action, yeah.
and 60
61 yeah.
wounded.
Yeah.
So,
They didn't try again, that was their one attack.
But during the attack, they were protected by the French trenches behind the fort. So they put in the trench and they don't move because during the fire of Fermont, it was impossible to go out the trench. And they wait until the French commandant of Fermont, Capitaine 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞, decide to cease the fire during 15 minutes to authorize the Germans to evacuate their founded.
the deepest ditch here. And then you get to the three firing positions where the first one is missing a door because in the heat of the battle early on, they fired round just before the armored shutters opened up, so it took one off with it. The second one, they're intact. And interesting part is where the Germans actually were firing on this whole facade. It was all this facade was renovated in 1955 when the French military was thinking about reusing the fort again, and they started doing some slight modifications. So all this damage on this facade, you can't actually see any of it, which hurts me a little. Except for the steel domes, you still have some of the impacts. considering what you can see from here, which is pretty much everything. It's not a bad place to fight. With a 12-kilometer range on the guns.
German artillery of the 183rd Infantry Division opened fire on the rear of Block 4 with an 88mm gun. And as we've heard, they kept that up until practically nothing remained, and somebody must have prayed really hard, as by chance the firing stopped after the last shot had weakened the concrete to the point that one more would have pierced it and set off the munitions inside. The breach was repaired that night. The 161st Infantry Division under General Wilk then attacked Fermont on June 21st with two 10mm and 305mm siege mortars, 105mm guns and 88's high-velocity guns as well, causing one single death when a round penetrated a mortar cloche in Block 5. And given all the battle this fortress saw, having only had one death must be a testament to the Maginot Line's value. In 1944, Fermont did not see any battle, but was used as a recuperation place for American soldiers.
Ils sont très embêtants. Est-ce que vous pouvez arriver pour les casser pour nous? Léopard saute en l'air, il est balancé sur les dents de dragon qui ne bougent pas. Et à chaque coup.
And as you all know, I love to go to France and visit steel mushroom farms. I'm on the top of Fort Fermont, and here you can just see one dome on top of the 75mm firing block. A little one down there in front, another one behind me. There's another one behind this bush. Over here, I can look at 7 steel domes from where I am. And these certainly took their share of damage, because the Germans were firing straight on this block below me here. And this took quite a few hits too. And the other one that's embedded over there, so you can see I'm standing on the combat block here. And there's another one down there. Observation machine guns. The one to the side of me have a machine gun in it. And there you see the impacts on this. And this block was completely shredded from the German fire, which was really, really interesting, because the Germans took it upon themselves to do something. Well, they knew that this was a porcupine. They knew the French forts were dangerous. But from a blind angle, just off where the gun could shoot, they set up an 88 and they just started hammering away at exactly the same spot. And they kept firing on that spot all morning. As the wall slowly began to grind away, and right inside that wall there's, of course, magazines for the 375s. And the French started getting a little bit worried, because the cement, piece by piece by piece, for every 88 shell, they would just hammer through that wall. And finally, at lunch, the wall had come down and you could see daylight through the wall. And then the German gunners went for lunch. And the French went, holy hell, we need to fix this. So they put up some quick steel plates, they put up some bit of a rebar, some cement, quick drying, quick hardening cement, and they fixed it. And the Germans never knew that 1 or 2 more shots would have set off the magazine and demolished the entire block. That is just how things happen in war sometimes.
All the cloths with machine guns. The roof of the fort is a killing zone, isn't it?
Yeah.
You think you're winning when you climb up here with your shaped charges, and you don't stand a chance.
Yeah, you're
cut down from every angle.
That was, the biggest mistake 𝐸𝐵 made. There was no real machine gun defenses for the artillery blocks.
Ça monter et descendre le tour.
Ah yes, yeah.
Donc on appuie dessus.
Prochaine, on espère.
Tant plus.
Ah, c'est ventilation.
Tout le bas, il ne reste plus que les escaliers à casser avec l'Hervé pour le calcaire. Attendez, c'était noyé. Et ça s'est recapté. Hein. Ça revient dans les collecteurs normaux. Et il ne nous reste plus que les escaliers, c'est tout. Hein. Après, je crois,
There's a few dents in there.
Yes, a few dents.
But what a strange place for the observation dome. See, it doesn't even, there's not even an observation port in this.
No, there's no.
Totally different.
Yeah, there's no little cross with the office.
This cupola.
The turret.
So you have the observation just here?
By orders, the 21 of June, they decide to attack Fermont by the way.
Yeah.
Okay? And they use a method conceived in Czech fortification. Okay, because the Czech fortifications are exactly the same as the Maginot Line. So they understand that it's impossible to break the blocks and the cupola. So the intention is not to take the fort, but to impeach the fort to shot, okay?
Okay.
Neutralization,
Neutralize.
not destruction.
Not destruction, yeah.
The first part of the attack is a bombing by heavy artillery, mortar, in the case of Fermont, 21 centimeter and 30.5 millimeter Czech guns, okay, mortar, firing from this direction, okay, at about 10 kilometers, okay.
Yeah.
And the bombing, they fire on the fort, not to destroy the fort, but to make hole in the ground, to favorize the progression of the German troops,
The infantry.
destroy the network of rails, barbed wire, and so on.
Yeah.
And after that, the German troops can progress, advance. Okay, during the bombing, the German troops go just near the fort, and they wait for the cessation of fire. After that, the second part of the operation is to fire on the blocks with anti-tank guns or anti-aircraft gun, like the 8.8 or the 3.7. Okay? And the intention is to oblige the defenders to stay inside, waiting for the end of the bombing. Okay? And during this phase, these phases, the German troops came really near the fort, and at the moment the guns set the fire, the stormtroops come in assault and try to destroy the turrets, the cloche, the ventilation with petard of dynamite explosive, okay? Et they put, as la Ferté, they put in the embrasure, and boom, and embrasure is destroyed. It's impossible to shoot with it's the only reason to attack the fort is to destroy the embrasure of the casemate and of turret. Okay? But in the case of Fermont, when the Germans were here, La Fermont, which is on the hill, on the top of the hill, fire on Fermont and on Chappy, which is a small fort in this direction. And they obliged the Germans to go in the trench and to wait for the cessation of the fire. And in the afternoon, Daniel Aubert, commanding of Fermont, accords to the German the fire cease, okay? Cessez-le-feu. And during this period, the Germans go away in the back with their wounded and their dead, okay? And after that, the German commanding forbidden all attacks against French fortification, like Fermont or like Hackenberg and so on. They only can attack small forts by the rear and only with artillery. And so you have, for example, the fall of Bambèche, Kerfan, comment s'appelle celui-là, au Poirier, Welschow. They are fired by the rear. It's impossible to, because the German guns are at distance too big for the weapons of the fort. It's impossible to
That's the
respond.
range of the fort. And of course, if you go to Koblenz,
Yes.
in the archives, you find all the plans of the forts with all the parts of the rear walls where it's thinner. The Germans knew where to aim.
Yes.
Not here. This is they tried to smash the chasm, but in the smaller forts, all they wanted to do was make a hole in the wall, and they knew at that point the garrison surrenders. There's no point in carrying on, and they knew the place where the concrete was thinner, and because they want to avoid the Faraday cage, so they put the wireless outside.
La marche. Attention la marche.
Je me souviens de ça. Je suis tombé là, une fois.
Where do you think you're going, young man? So, this is the machine gun tower for the close defense inside of the fort here. And you see those spirals. This is for the camembert, for the machine gun, a magazine that will be attached and rolled up here. Now, this may just be a light bulb to you in a little hallway here at the National Line Tunnel. However, there's something more to this. If you look at the way the light bulb is pointing, see the fitting is pointing to my right. The light bulb is actually pointing to my left. Everywhere in these forts, the lights were pointing towards the direction of escape. So you could always look at the lights and see what the light bulb is pointing, that's where you escape to. And if, of course, the light bulb is pointing straight down, well, you're in a room going nowhere. All right, so it's a little bumpy ride. You get used to it. This is actually a lot of fun. A little bit like a scout outing, you know, if you take outings on ammunition trains, of course, which I do. It's like, what?
The soldiers needed exercise down on the road.
But at this time they were stronger than today.
So this is the water pump, the manual water pump.
From the pump to
The well.
The well.
Right.
But that's manual, right? So the handle, is that just to start it, or is that to actually work it?
La manche, c'est pour commencer ou pour faire marcher? Ou pour pomper?
Mais il y a une pompe électrique aussi.
There's an electric pump as well.
Okay, so that's just a backup. Or punishment.
Punition. So the electric pump has disappeared.
No, it's sitting right here.
Or on the other side.
In the cistern. Okay, you can see it's modern.
On and off, yes.
This is what's hiding in the corners of the national line. Oh dear God. And then there's the big tank. Just like I saw at Festa de Damen and other places. Huge water tanks here. Of course, it could also be the diesel tank, but I do think that's the water tank. And I think that because that's what the sign says.
$45,000 That's a lot.
It seems important.
Yeah. One of the things.
Et l'eau est potable, Gary? L'eau est potable? Oh, it's drinking water.
Yeah. So,
Not phréatique.
Oui, exact.
so the 600 men in the fort, they would combined use 12 liters of water per day. That huge tank
So we turn to the left.
would hold for 4 days. Oh, I love the wallpaper.
Okay. Let's go.
We're going to the infirmary.
Yes.
Well, I know Roger was sick, but
Oh, you mean kind of sneezing while you're running out?
yes, I'm not referring to the mental part at all. You're sound as a rock, Roger. You volunteer to do these things. That's totally normal. This is lamp. That's what I thought.
Yes. Ah, no,
Et ça, par exemple, tout ce qui est ici, c'est d'origine.
Oh, this is original, but from the First World War forts.
Yeah,
The wood, these tables are from those forts.
that's kind of okay.
That's why there are no tables in Duomo. There are no tables.
So they all ended up here. We only have six rooms.
Yeah, if you sprain your ankle.
And one here if necessary.
We only had one killed here during the war, so I mean it's not a bad statistic.
So Tino, this is for decoration, not against rats. Like we saw the black paint
Oh,
forts in the Serre de Rivière.
like I said, see this lamp? It's pointing straight down. That means you are where you're supposed to be.
There is no exit by here.
Yep. You are at home. This is where you live now.
These rooms are foreseen for 16 men. When visiting the planes, they were for 24 soldiers. And at the end,
They got 30.
30. So you have separation between Dave and I want. And when the soldier leaves his bed, another one takes his place.
Hot bunking.
It's a hot bunking, yeah. So 600 men here. What's that? Oh, latrines. That's a hell of an armored door for a latrine.
During peacetime, you had time to use the toilets,
Yeah.
clean them in between use. That's again a punishment, a punition. But then the time of war, when everyone has to rush to the toilets very quickly and then go back and man their posts, they introduced the chemical toilets where the broyeur, ça écrase,
Un broyeur,
vis.
Aujourd'hui, ça
There's
s'appelle un semi-broyeur.
kind of a vice which breaks up the excrement and creates it turns it into a liquid form by the addition of chemicals.
Right.
And that can be pumped out.
Okay, so why the armored door? We think that's where this started.
En temps de paix, donc peacetime,
Peacetime. Pourquoi blindé? Why the door?
hein?
Pourquoi la porte blindée? Where's the door?
Parce qu'ici on rigole pas, c'est du sérieux. Ouais, c'est un hôtel.
So there's another steel door. And then there's a trap door, but we don't talk about that. I'm assuming these are the bathroom doors. These are the actual stairs that are, oh, what are those things? Where you stand on the side. All right, that makes sense. Here's the lamp is pointing to the out, so here you don't have to stay. You can actually evacuate.
Through the original, les peintures sont d'origine.
Some drawings on the wall, made before the war.
Pre-war drawing.
Yeah.
In 1938, but more interesting, just flower. You have many signatures on the wall.
No, they didn't find it.
Do you know that?
Oh, the mailroom.
What next?
The duty commander, I guess.
Yeah.
That's actually interesting. So that's a term that's used in France and almost Danish. But then again, they were really allied in many ways.
C'est incroyable que l'organisation TOD n'a pas ferraillé des milliers de tonnes de métal. It's amazing that TOD didn't get in here.
Yeah. Oh, this is the jail. This is where the police was, and this are the cells.
And here is for the soldier in charge of this room.
And this is
Here is the
cell.
here is prison cell.
Yes.
It's not for German, it's for French.
Yeah.
Yes, drunken man, 𝐬𝐻𝐸𝐵𝐾.
I mean, you only get half a bottle of wine a day, unless you're the machinist, in which case you get a full.
You have a cell for 200 men.
You're safe.
Yeah, this is the second most important room after the wine cellar.
The room with the
where
money.
they keep the money. Question: were the men happy to be here or not? They're all young men, no women.
No men.
They're underground.
20 years, 22 years.
Were they happy?
Surely more happy than the soldiers outside the fort during the winter of 1939 and 1940. It was one of the hardest of the century.
Right.
The temperature was plus 20, 25.
Minus 20, 25, my God.
It seemed very sad, very impressive. But remember that in 1940, most of these soldiers have no hot water at their home.
At the house. Yeah.
At no toilet
Basic,
in the
hole in the
apartment.
ground,
You go outside. For them, it was comfortable because it was central heating.
Yes, I never thought of that.
Yes, central heating. Yes, you can see. Looking for.
Going to the central heating. Officer's room, so it's smaller.
It was forbidden to use this lavabo for other use.
That does seem pretty damn convenient, though.
Yeah, just the right angle. Just the right angle.
It's just right there. You can't miss for a change.
Yeah, that's true.
So that you can shut the door.
Oh, they actually have a gate for the officers. Stay in touch with your men. Don't lock them out or lock yourself in.
The officer's bedrooms. The little wash basin. That's smart. Oh, that's
Mess for kitchen and toilet.
right.
Oh, this is the officer's room?
Yep, officer's mess. And look, that's the radiator, an electric radiator in the corner. I've never seen one.
One of those little ones?
There's an electric radiator. Isn't that cool? Well, hot, yeah. Brilliant. It works very soon.
Oh, look at the walls. Look at the seriously, look at the graffiti on the walls. Look at the paintings. I don't know. I'm thinking somebody here had an Asian fetish. She does look a little Asian. It may just be me. Huh?
That's why. Probably his Indo-Chinese wife painted her.
It could also be some. I mean, but it's interesting. She painted. They painted the same. This is not wallpaper. They painted the same girl in the same way throughout the entire room.
They've had a stencil probably.
Probably, yeah.
No, she's got her eyes closed there. Look, there's one step on there.
Every other, yeah.
Eyes closed.
That's actually fun.
With hard-shaped lips.
I wonder if she was
And cherries, look. Oh.
Dirty Frenchmen they are.
All around the doors. Oh. The officer's toilet, is it?
Yep. See, but they still have to stand up. They don't get a seat like the Germans.
Oh.
Captain Aubert, commanding the fort.
Yes. Commandant, that's the equivalent of major in English.
1943.
43.
Yes, during an attack of counter-tank against French position. They were totally not destroyed, but dispersed.
So was this one of the first forts that was built, or one of the last, or because it couldn't have been a prototype fort, could it? Because it was built later.
1931. The first forts were built, what, 1929? The first, as you know, barrage were built in the Alps because they were afraid of a surprise attack by Mussolini to recover Nice, which was formerly part of Italy, Savoy. And they really built them to no pre-prepared plans. They just went out and built them. So you have some very curious designs in those early forts. They've just fitted to the topography. The topography. La géographie locale, ils ont créé des arbres. On ne pouvait pas faire des plans en pleine campagne. C'était
difficile parce que c'était pas plus facile, difficile. Plus facile parce qu'il suffisait de barrer les principaux codes.
Non, c'est pas un prototype, c'était
Food storage.
en fait le meilleur exemple standard. C'est pourquoi il a été conservé. It was perhaps the model fort, but this one was the best example of a standard fort. That's what I'm thinking. So it wasn't finished. There was supposed to be another 75 turret and a 135 turret bomb throwers. Lost bomb.
That should have been built here.
Should have been built, yeah, in the original plan. The bread oven. The staple of the French.
We are not sure that there is a fort existing in 1940. Very too big.
were too big. The first two faults were too
It
big.
was a mistake. So after that, we reduce the faults, and Fermont is a good example of the type.
A standard type.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes.
Because at 𝐸𝐵𝐺𝐻, it's two faults with only one entrance.
Oh, right.
What was that?
In June 26, the fightings were finished, okay? And the crew wait in the fort to have orders concerning the evacuation of the fort. And during this period, the cuistots, cuisiniers, okay?
The cooks.
The cooks, yes, the cooks, make a hole in the wall,
Yes.
and in this hole, they
threw all the food.
all the meal,
And then
Flour.
Right. Okay.
okay, and they put the
And they buried it.
stone to close the wall.
C'est une tombe de la nourriture.
Just so the Germans wouldn't get it.
Yeah, they buried their food. Yeah, fusil mitrailleur is an automatic rifle, not a machine gun, really. It's the equivalent of a Bren gun, a fusil
Yeah.
mitrailleur.
I hear machinery.
The power station. A forge,
Oh, yes.
metal with an extractor, fume extractor. That is brilliant. They could make and repair anything in here, couldn't they? Beautiful, I love beautiful machinery. Oh, look at that lathe, isn't that beautiful? Here again.
So here, you have the hour road of 𝐶𝐵𝐠𝐞𝐿. It's the power station, okay? 𝐶𝐵𝐠𝐿.
These are the little heating radiators, aren't they? The electric radiators.
Yeah, radiators, yes.
Oh,
that's right.
Yes. The one fixed in the wall in the officer's mess. I've never seen these before. Very beautiful. Brilliant. Oh, this is the element inside. There are things here which have disappeared.
Ça, c'est les transformateurs. This is two converters, transforming the electricity.
Yeah,
in
transformer.
600 volts continue.
Right,
Okay.
600 DC. Direct current. Wow. 225 horsepower each. 4 engines.
You have the indication ici.
Ah, right.
You can see an engine, but it totally cannibal. We took parts of this one
Yes.
to repair this.
Oh, this is
wheel.
yeah.
Okay,
this is
yeah.
Okay, because
This was left. Okay.
when we take the fort, when in 1976,
Yes.
there are only 3 engines.
Yes.
Okay, the first one was taken by the French engineer in 1946
Yes.
to put engine at 𝐸𝐵𝐺𝐻, to 𝐸𝐵𝐺𝐻, okay?
Yes.
because there was no engine, okay? And when we created the association, we had the authorization to go to 𝐟𝐨𝐫𝐿 to take
Recover your engine.
an engine, and so this engine was concerned during many years at the mine of Bazaille. Okay, and the personnel of the power station take part when the mine ceases its activity. We are obliged to take again the engine and we put at the place where it is.
How do you get the engine in? How does it come in? All right, you've got an overhead rail. Where, and then where does it go next? The engine, all right, the engine comes out on the rail.
Yes.
Yes, let's talk about French battleships, dreadnoughts, shall we? Can we please pull them out of the water and talk about them?
Correct.
Ventilation room.
Yes.
Okay, with filter.
Filters, the gas filters, yes.
And these look like they're the original filters.
Yes.
In peacetime, the air is breathed by the personnel in trench, okay? And he flew into the fort, okay? When the fort is attacked, the air is conducted by this pipe and is filtered before getting in the fort. Okay? And the other pipe is the evacuation of the smokes of the engine.
Oh, the engines. All right. Because there's not only gas. There's not only gas shells. There's the smoke of the explosion of shells outside.
Yes.
And that's what the big fort, 11 kilometers from the frontier, the biggest. I mean, in 1914, the first one, what the Germans destroyed. It was and getting in through the firing shots, the smoke explosions.
This filter are conceived with 3 elements.
Yes.
Inside there is coal, charbon.
Yes.
Coal. Okay. And it's
charcoal.
It's foreseen to avoid chemical gas, arsenic gas, and so on. Okay. And
let's be honest, the modèle 1936, ok. 36 modèle.
Ceux qui sont marqués SNC, c'était pas vraiment en 40. C'était les chemins de fer. In this iron plates. Here also, and it was made to put the filters without.
Okay.
Okay?
That makes sense.
Each block had its own filter system, and they had airtight doors.
That's the main system. That's the main system, but each block had a separate system.
And this is
How long before they would?
Well, they would only use it for several hours. While they were fighting, while it was being attacked.
This looks interesting.
All the marginal line, which has a gallery between personnel in trench and ammunition in trench. Okay? It's very practical for the visit. But it's not a gallery. It's an hidden.
It's a drain.
It's a visitable hidden.
This is a drain you can actually get in it out.
So I'm going through the drains.
Any water infiltration necessary is a gallery.
So it's not a communications corridor.
No.
It's a drain corridor where you can pull up the covers and clean the drain.
So it's a technical drain tunnel. Since there's So you're literally taking me through the crapper.
But this corridor connects the ammunition entrance and the personnel entrance. But it wasn't meant as a communication. Just, it's used for visitors.
Well, I like hallways like these.
So you make in the ground the distance between the two entrances.
So the entrance for the munition fuel and for the personnel entrance.
Yes.
Okay. I see the water still running here, so we're good. And now we're here. This is a nice 88 with a couple of things missing. And it's appropriate to have an 88 here because it was the 88s that posed the greatest danger to this fort. But if I tell you, it didn't actually manage to kill a single inhabitant, it opens up for an interesting story, doesn't it?
Next time Roger and I has a real special fort to show you, with something you will only see here. So subscribe, and I'll see you next time. I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel, liking, follows, and maybe even join me on Patreon to help out. I am just a guy, a historian, traveling around all these historic places in Europe on my own dime, trying to bring them to you.